At the end of a match, the blood is flowing, but is it real or just part of the act?
Juicing is causing yourself to bleed.
Hey, open the fist! Open the fist! Hey, open the fist! Come on, step back! What's wrong with you?
The granddaddy of all cons is when a wrestler is literally beaten to a bloody pulp.
Hey, out of your man's hair! Out of the man's hair! Hey, what are you doing? Hey, come here! What? What's wrong with you? What are you doing? What do you think you're doing?
Nothing. Juicing is simply where the person cut himself in the ring and bleed, just to add more realism to that match.
Wrestling fans think that the All-American boy has bloodied his opponent's head, but he had nothing to do with it. From this angle, we can see that Brash Knuckles doesn't come anywhere close to the turnbuckle. So why all the blood? Well, most people think it's fake. Well, here's a secret you wouldn't expect. That's a real cut, and the blood's real too. But how did it get there? Let's take a closer look. As the ref steps in to check on Brash Knuckles' condition, he secretly passes off a tiny sliver of a razor blade wrapped in tape.
Stay there.
How you doing, man? Here it is.
There's the handoff. If you didn't know where to look, you'd miss it. So much for the ref being impartial, but we already knew he was in on it. You may want to look away, because this part gets pretty gruesome.
Hey, what are you doing? No.
With the concealed blade, he secretly makes a small incision in the crease of his brow. He knows exactly where to cut.
The wrong way is taking a long, broad stroke across the forehead. That results in long scars. You can get tremendous injuries. The right way is you go to the bone and take just a little jerk. It will bleed profusely, and 2 to 3 days later, it'll be healed.
It's hard to believe how far pro wrestlers will go to make the carnage look real and keep the fans coming back for more.
A finishing move is a devastating move. It's a move where the fans in that crowd are like, ugh. Damn, he ain't getting up.
The ultimate act of chicanery comes at the end of the match. It's called a finishing move, and it's guaranteed to bring the bout to a dramatic conclusion. One showstopper is called the backbreaker.
A backbreaker is one of the unusual finishing moves in wrestling. The whole trick to this being you're falling down on your knee and just barely placing him on the knee that's upright.
Watch as the two wrestlers hold each other tightly so their weight will be evenly distributed. Now here's the secret. Private Payne actually lands on his feet, not on his back, as he'd have you believe.
He feels no discomfort from this. It's a very easy move to take, and it's actually worse to the person giving the move than the person getting the move.
Worse, because Colossus has the job of supporting all their weight. Private Payne clutches tightly to his opponent so he can fully extend his legs. See how his feet take the impact. Although the illusion is a broken back, it's Colossus who's out of breath. Another spectacular finisher is the Hurricanrana. Slither tries to whip Skullduggery into the turnbuckle, but he ends up on the canvas. Skullduggery pretends to be dazed while Slither gets into position. Up and over, he buries him with the mighty Hurricanrana. And this match is over.
There are a lot of different variations of the Hurricanrana. There's no doubt about it. It's very risky.
It's risky, all right, unless you know the secret. Don't watch Slither, because he's not in charge here. It's Skullduggery who controls the move. Watch as he does a full forward flip, driving himself into the canvas. He makes sure to get full rotation so he doesn't squash his opponent. Meanwhile, Slither tucks his head in to avoid hitting the ring post. And that's how it's done. Another finishing move is the leg drop. It's an elaborate maneuver where a wrestler appears to knock the air out of his opponent by crushing his windpipe. But here's how it really works.
Get your opponent's on his back, you jump up in the air, you basically land on your butt, your leg will land harmlessly on your opponent's chest.
Colossus's leg doesn't even touch Private Payne's neck, but the move happens so fast the fans can't spot the secret. It's Private Payne's cell job that puts it over the top. Watch again. Colossus goes down, but his knee is bent, creating an arch, and leaving his opponent plenty of breathing room. Here's another big finisher. Looks like the hero is about to lose, but a smart booker wouldn't let that happen. So the good guy employs a tricky move to make his comeback. The Bulldog Headlock.
A Bulldog Headlock is where you have your opponent in a headlock, you jump up in the air, you land on your butt, and the idea behind that is it looks like you've driven your opponent's head into the mat.
The secret? The opponent's head never hits the canvas. Watch again. As they go down, Skullduggery breaks his fall with his forearms. By the time the All-American boy lands, he's released his opponent. He breaks his own fall, and Skullduggery lands on his beefy arms. But he sells the move by grabbing his head and howling in pain. And now the most dangerous finishing move in all of wrestling. The Pile Driver.
Pile driver is a devastating move.
Even if you've taken the bump 1,000 times, it doesn't take but one time, one mistake. You could be paralyzed.
Here's how Private Payne avoids a broken neck. His head is tucked up between his opponent's thighs, so it doesn't really slam into the mat. Private Payne's shoulders take all the impact, not his head.
When I land, I'll land vicious and hard, but most of the shock will be to my butt and upper thigh area.
Private Payne uses his arms to push himself up at the moment of impact. The fans think he's been pile-drived into the canvas head first.
If you land the wrong way, you aren't going to get up from a pile driver. You'll probably just be stretchered out.
But you'll be safe, as long as you know the secret. Stay tuned for more secrets